The Federal Ministry of Aviation on Monday expressed readiness to help foreign airlines operating in the country recover its $450 million trapped revenue from the Central Bank of Nigeria. Also, the International Air Transport Association, however, disclosed that it's planning another round of discussions with the Nigerian officials to secure the release of the trapped $450 million in revenue earned by international carriers. IATA had over the weekend accused Nigeria, Algeria, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Zimbabwe of restricting access to the investors to repatriate their profits worth over $1 billion despite several rounds of talks. Now, we are asking about why the restriction these airlines from repatriating their legitimate income. We have joining us Olumide Ohun-Ayo, a member of the Aviation Roundtable. He joins us virtually via Skype from Lagos to give us a better understanding of all of this. Hello, Mr. Olumide.
Good morning.
Good morning, and
Good morning.
thank you for joining us on Daybreak this morning. Why these restrictions at this point in time?
Well, it's not at this point in the restrictions that is not as but the costs keep galloping on a monthly basis. As at March, I know we showed on this channel some time ago, 283 million. But last week it has gone up to 400. That means we have not made any payment. Some discuss the issue on your channel here. The government is not about to pay. I just hope communicating with the IATA, that the International Airlines Association, who has raised alarm. To correct a statement made earlier on, it's not the profit, it's their revenue that's been held down. It's the revenue from ticket sales that's been held down, while those bought from outside Nigeria is safely in their custody. It's those that were paid for in Nigeria that they need to repatriate to their country or to their bank. That's the one that has been held down, and that's the situation we have found ourselves. The excuse now is that we are battling with the limited foreign exchange issues, which has been brought upon us by the COVID pandemic that made businesses tumble and made government really to give out funds rather than receive income. There was more expenditure. Also, while still battling to recover, then came the high price of oil in the market due to the Russian-Ukraine war, and that has also caused some crisis for the economy. Nigeria is owing about $450 million, which is about 45% of the total amount owed by African countries. There are 12 African countries who are owing them. Nigeria is the highest with 450 billion. The total amount being owed by African countries that have been repatriated is about $1 billion. Yet Nigeria has 450 million out of the money. Then the other countries you have listed earlier on, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Eritrea, and other countries are also failed to remit. I think everybody's battling with this issue of forex due to the pandemic and post-pandemic oil prices that's escalating beyond the control of the economies and with the accompanying galloping inflation that has come along with it.
Okay, Mr. Ohun-Ayo, we have heard some of the reasons that were given and why these people are unable to repatriate their funds. However, if Nigeria does not enable these people or allow them to repatriate their funds, we'll be violating the BASA agreement, right? So what is the way forward? Say that this kind of things has happened in countries that had huge financial problems like Zimbabwe, Venezuela. I don't believe Nigeria is in the group of Venezuela and Zimbabwe yet, at least not at this point. So what is the way forward?
This is not the first time we'll be holding on to such funds. Let's get that very clear. This is not the first time. It has happened in the past, and like the report said, that 1 billion is about 67% of the amount owed worldwide. So invariably, what it says that some other countries outside Africa are also owing airlines and have refused to repatriate funds, such as Sri Lanka. I know Bangladesh used to be on that list, and I'm not sure now whether Iraq is still on that list. You know what? Looking at going back to your question, yeah, what is the problem? Yeah, it's lack of forex, and probably we have not placed our priority right. I doubt. I'm sure what have infuriated them is probably when they've listened to our news, seeing the amount of money spent on the presidential primaries, amount being paid for delegates and paid by political parties, and hearing that we are spending dollars, and yet we cannot repatriate their own funds. I think that maybe that must have inflated them to come out again. If you listen to that report, the vice president of Middle East and Africa said they have met with the government twice, and principally with the vice president, and they promised to they agreed that they were owing the money and something will be done. And it's looking forward to a meeting sometime next month to meet with the government again and see whatever they can get some things for. I think what is so bad this time around is that we've never had it. We not had the amount go so high as a 450 million. I think that's the point where the buyer is feeling scared that, well, this thing is galloping and we might get into some crisis. And I think the government should really do something about it. You don't have to pay the 450 million at a go, but you should at least be seen to be doing something. I think that is what IATA wants to see now.
All right. Now, what are some of the implications, of this in the aviation sector? As we know, like definitely, it's going to have an economic implications.
Well, they are there. Most of these airlines don't operate alone. They have partner airlines that connects that put passengers on their flight. That's those who are if you're in an alliance or in a grouping, you can have about 3 or 4 airlines put one single passenger on your flight to Nigeria. About that passenger might come on about 3 or 4 airlines. Now, when you hold on to these funds, you're also affecting the funds of those other airlines that do not even operate into Nigeria. And if you look at it now, the ticket price now has galloped on the Nigerian. When you compare the price of the ticket on the Lagos to any of these international routes, compare that with the neighboring countries, we have the highest. That's one of the price you will pay. Again, you might see the airlines now begin to reduce their schedule in order to reduce their cost, and even and also more funds getting into the coffers of Nigeria and not being remitted. So airlines might reduce their schedule. They might also begin to sell in foreign currency, whereby they would now want to collect the currency themselves and find a way of remitting or trading it or passing it through the system through one of their embassies or any other international body. So these are some things you will see. And once the ticket fare begin to increase, you tend to reduce travel, because the higher the fare, the lower the demand. That's where it is. Only for maybe first class tickets and charter flights, but for the full economy and other classes, once the fares increases, there will be lower demand for it, and that will also affect the travel and revenue that comes to almost every other strata in the system to the value chain, because it is more travelers that come to the airport that revenue comes to the agencies, revenue comes to the allied services, and that's what should be the ideal thing. But I think the government should need to address it. But you cannot keep allowing this. Okay. I think 450 is too high, and that's the highest ever. Because, like I said, this is not the first time we are owing the IATA. It's happened in the past, but it has not been this high. So I think the government should begin to make efforts to address it through the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Okay. Some experts have said that the problem would have been minimal if Nigeria had strong airlines. Do you agree?
Well, when you have a strong airline or strong airlines who operate on international routes, then you have less passengers going on the other airlines that you are holding their funds. But you look at Ethiopian Airlines, is the strongest, most profitable, and Ethiopia is on the list. Ethiopia is spending $70 million. So even with a strong airline, the airlines will still operate. You still have foreign airlines operating into Nigeria. Your responsibility is to stand by your commitment to repatriate their funds. It's natural that the most foreign airlines will still come, whether we have strong airlines or not. BA is a strong airline. Delta is a strong airline, but foreign airlines still go into those countries. Emirates is a strong airline, but foreign airlines still operate into their countries. And when they operate in the countries, it's your responsibility. It's a statutory responsibility for you to repatriate funds that these airlines generate in your market. And then I think that's responsibility of the government to the central bank, and efforts must be made to do this. Before doing that, you must also placate the IATA and the airlines involved, so we don't get a backlash in future. We need to address it, and I think we work need to start now.
All right, now, whether or not this will have an implication for domestic, Nigerian airlines operating internationally, again, is also an issue we'd like for you to speak to.
Presently, we are not too strong on the international front. If you go to a country, it's quite natural. If you operate to one of the countries that have been that have an airline that has been their own funds here. If you operate there, what they will also do is just probably hold on to that airlines fund and ask the Nigerian counterpart to pay them from here, right from the and deduct from source. That's a natural thing that we come if you have airlines operating to one of those countries, one of those countries, and we need to repatriate some funds from there. But today we are just on the APC, the only airline on the IPS, and the only one on intercontinental routes operating into South Africa and Dubai so far. The other airline are within the West Coast, so I don't think any of the West Coast airlines are involved in this. But let's take an example. If AWA of Ghana has some funds here and can be repatriated, they also will just statically hold on to funds of some of Nigerian operators into Ghana and ask them to take it from source. It's a natural way of doing business rather than go through that stress. So that's the only thing that will happen if you have Nigerian airlines that are operated into one of the countries where that have their money being withheld here. But that will not stop the operations. It's if Nigerian are now operating into those countries and you refuse to pay charges, landing, parking, and handling to the operators in such countries, then they might have a problem. But for the remitters, I don't think that will hinder Nigerians from operating.
All right.
Or that should.
All right. Well, thank you so much then for joining us on Daybreak this morning and sharing your perspectives on this recent development. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
We've been speaking with Olumide Ohunwayo. He is a member of the Aviation Roundtable, and he joins us via Skype from Lagos to talk about the recent move by the Federal Ministry of Aviation to help foreign airlines operating in the country to recover about $450 million trapped in the Central Bank of Nigeria. Well, with that, we've come to the end of the program. For today. In case you've missed, you can always catch up on all our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. My name is Ayuba Ilya. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Thank you once again for joining us on Daybreak this morning. Do well to join us same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Stella Iyajan. Do have a pleasant day.